Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today I'm just going to have a little play. I want to make an envelope. So I've made this lovely little journal this morning. I'm using the new papers that I popped into my Etsy shop. So I just wanted to have a quick play. And I think this has come out really nice. These are the papers, just a quick flip through. I don't have all of them on here because I have used some, but they're really lovely, and they're just nice, sort of like really grungy sort of like backing papers with lovely clocks on them. So they're just nice to be keeping your stash really. So a nice sort of like grungy vintage look to them, and I'm loving it. So I've made this lovely little journal this morning, which is quite a simple, very simple journal. I've got a lovely little closure on there, with a little bit of fabric on there. I've just got sewn around there and just cut a little hole in the middle, and that just pops over the top. So I thought that was really nice, and I just sewed it on the back. So I just wanted to make a little sort of envelope sort of to pop it into, and I've got this as sort of like a little fabric top to flip over. So I'm going to sort of make it up as I go along. I've got this as a top which has got two bits of fabric on. One's a very fine one, and then we've got the one that I normally use on my journals as well. So that will go on there. I've got these two pieces of the digital papers, and then I've got a piece of tea stain paper. So I was thinking I just wanted to sort of make like a little envelope to pop this little journal in, so it just pops in like so. So I'm going to sort of do it like that, I think. So I just fold that so I know where I am. Let's see if this turns out okay. Pop that over there. Now I'm going to back it with a little bit of this as well, and then I want to, so I'm just going to put that on the backing, on the back. I'm not too worried about the front, so I just wanted to take that off and just cut that off like that. Doesn't have to be neat and tidy, because it's sort of like grungy papers. It doesn't matter if your paper's sort of grungy as well. So what I'm going to do for now, I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on here with all my fabric on there. I thought I'd have a little break from my Oceanic Adventures journal and have a play with these papers, because I'm fancy making like a little journal, something quick and easy. Let's push that down a little bit further. There we go. That's stuck in there. And then what I would like to do, see, my idea is having that on the back, and then that just folds over. This piece will fold over as well, so that just folds over and the journal goes inside. But I would like this to go over the fabric as well. So I'm just going to stick that, probably if I cut off about there, so just a little bit over half. See, when my hands are a funny old colour. I coloured this fabric today as well, which is normally, let me get some out, this colour, which is the sort of like creamy sort of colour. And what I did, I used some gathered twig and frayed burlap, just sort of like mix those together, and coloured that because I wanted it to sort of like match this a little bit. Just wanted it a little bit darker so they match. Now I'm going to put that in there, and or maybe I will just stick this onto here first. This is a very sort of like random little envelope that I'm trying to make. I'm going to put this on here because I wanted it just to be a little bit firmer. So I'm going to stick that on there. And I'm going to just ink around the edge, I think, just a little bit. Just to get a little bit of ink on there, just to colour it. Just that edge. I've ordered some more ink. So I'm hoping that's going to arrive tomorrow. My glue still hasn't arrived, so I really do think that's just been completely lost. So never mind. Okay, which way was I going to have it? Stick it on there. Pop that on there, and then I will be sewing around it, and then that will just fold over. Okay, I want to just make sure that's level, just like that. Okay, I'm going to just pop a tiny bit of this on here. I found that glue stick will just hold it down just for a little bit until you sew it. And I'm going to glue this onto here. Like that. Good old glue stick. I'm going to put that on there. Not very level, is it? Just move that over a little bit. Okay, so then I'm going to take this piece and then I'm going to slide that underneath there a little bit, so that we can sew that on. So that will be the back. And then we turn that over. Okay, so that's perfect. So what I need to do now, I'm going to sew it. I'm going to, so I want that then to fold over. Whoopsie daisy. I think this needs to come up a little bit more. I want to stick that in just a little bit further in, like that. Told you I was making it up as I was going along. So that will go in there, and that's a little bit higher. I want to put that like that, so then the journal will fit in there. I don't want it too big because it's just going to flap about in there. We don't want that. So that can down a little bit more. Sure we're level. Like that, and then pop that on. That's better, because then I will just sew this on. Let's just stick that down. Tiny bit of glue on there just to hold it in place. Probably didn't really need this piece of paper in there, but that's okay. I quite like it hanging off the edge actually. It makes it a little bit sort of like scruffy and grungier. And then I'm going to bend that over so that comes to about there. So that should be about right for the little journal. So what I'm going to do now, yeah, I probably didn't need that, did I? But never mind. I'm going to sew around it. So I'm just going to sew around, which bit shall I sew around? I'm going to just sew around this top piece here. So I'm just going to go around the edge like that, and before I sew, I want to sew something onto here as well, just to reinforce that, because that's the little flap. So I will be 2 minutes. I'm just going to sew around here, and I think I will probably sew along this edge as well, just to keep that on. So 2 minutes. Okay, so there we are. So I've sewn around the edge, so I've just gone all the way around here and along this top bit and along here, because that's where that piece of paper comes in. So that's all sewn nicely. Let's just chop these little bits off like that. Okay, so then I need to, that folds up, and then that will just fold over, just like that, I think, and then that will just slip in nicely. Fold that down just a little bit. Now I think that's going to be a little bit too high, so push that in. Pop that in. I think I might just bend this over a little bit, just a little bit like that. Perfect. Okay. Then going to bend it back that way like that. Now I'm going to quickly just sew along there just to reinforce that, because it's bent over. It's going to make it just that little bit thicker. So I might actually, let's have a look. I've got some seam binding here. I think I might just pop a little bit of seam binding, because I want to use this as the closure. I might sew a little bit of seam binding on there. I might actually, should have popped it on the whole thing really, shouldn't I? Just to make that front. So let's just stick this on. Didn't prepare myself as I thought I should have, but that's okay. I would have lined the whole sheet of digital paper. This whole piece here, I should have just backed it with the paper, with the tea stain paper. But you can, if you're going to make this, you can just back it with the tea stain paper, so it will be a lot easier for you. Oops. Make sure that's stuck down nicely. A little bit there. Perfect. Right, what I'm going to do, let's bend this up like that. I'm going to pop to the sewing machine again, and I'm just going to sew that along there. I might even sort of like wrinkle it up just a little bit. So 2 seconds. Okay, so there we go. Oh, let me find the end of this and cut this off here like that. These little bits. Okay, so that, oh, that looks nice, doesn't it? And then that will just sort of fold over just like that. Little bits off. And then all I've got to do then is just sew up the sides. Oh, I like that. And this can either go in this way or that way, doesn't really matter which way it goes in then. Perfect. Oh, I like that. Okay, I might even add a little bit of that to here. Let's see. What do you think? That would look quite nice, wouldn't it? And then I'm going to add Yes, I think I'm going to go and quickly sew that. 2 seconds. Okay, so there we go. I think that looks really nice on there. Let's chop these little bits off. There we go. Take that piece off as well. Oh, that looks pretty, doesn't it? Just want to squash that down too much. Make sure this goes in okay. And then I'm going to do a closure. Go in. I'm going to fold this here like that. That looks really nice. Let's have a look. I need the rest of this for a closure. Let me just see. Now I'm going to leave that. I can always add to it later. It's my glue stick getting stuck everywhere. Right, so what I would like to do is make a closure. So I could do something like that. Or I can just take one of these, pop it on there, and pop some seam binding through it. That would be quite simple, wouldn't it? And just wrap the seam binding around it. So maybe that's what I will do. Pop that on there. Let's just make a little hole. Let's just make a little mark in there. About right. Take my little punch. Does that look level? I'm not sure whether that's very level at all, or central should I say. Let's have a look. 8. Oh no, it is. Wow. Wow, there we go. So let's see, we want this one. Cut that tiny bit of fabric off there. What did I do with that little? There it is. You can just pop through there like that. Turn this around. Put that back in again. And there we go. Perfect. Loving that. Really, really nice. So now I'm just going to quickly sew up the sides, either side. I'm liking this bit on here. I might actually sort of like ink that in a minute. Maybe I should ink it first. Probably a good idea before I sew it. I don't need that one, do I? Move these bits out of the way. Okay, so that looks a little bit better, doesn't it? Quite liking that. So I'm going to just quickly go and sew up either side. There we go. Cut these little bits off like that. Like this. Perfect. Now let's make sure you fit in there nicely. That goes in there lovely. So I'm going to just pop a little bit of this seam binding. Let's untie it a little bit. It's all knotted up. So what we want to do, let's pop this. Where's the end gone? Don't need too much. I only need a little bit to go around it like that. How many times? I only want to go around it once, and we can just tie it through there. So let me just pop it through. Pop the little journal in like that. Pop this on, and then we can just wrap this around just like that. Perfect. Love it. I think that's really, really nice. I think I might actually find some beads or something and add on to the end of there. I think that looks really nice. So how simple was that? Well, sort of simple. Not bad for being made up. I think I would probably do a few things different. Like I would just cover it, like I said before, just with the tea stain paper or coffee stain paper. Just line this first before I do it. But I do like this on the front, on the inside, like that. But there we go, guys. Nice, quick and easy little oops, wrong way, little envelope that we did. Put that through there, and perfect. And I will find some little beads to put on there. Okay guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you didn't find that too complicated. Well, not complicated, but I hope I did it sort of easy-ish for you to follow. Well, thanks for joining me. Please stay safe. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you all soon. All right guys, bye bye.